Welcome everyone to my cooking live with Metro et moi and Chef Chanthy Yen at Restaurant Parliament in the heart of Old Montreal. I'm delighted to have him join me. It's funny, it's been so long since I've done a live, even longer since I've done a cooking live. So I'm very excited. Here he is. Without further ado, Chef Chanthy Yen.
Hi everybody, it's me again. We're gonna be less awkward this time though.
What do you mean? It wasn't at all. And we get to be next to each other, and I get to be watching everything that you do. Just get everybody up to speed. Where have we been this whole morning?
We've been at Metro all morning and trying to figure out what we're gonna make for lunch today together. So we've built a little bit of a feast. We've scrounged around for all the local ingredients we could find. And yeah, we're gonna be making some food with you.
For me.
For you.
But
For you.
I am curious what you thought about Metro, because you had never been there before. You were coming into my Westmount hood. It's kind of like my home, welcoming you into my home. What were your thoughts?
Well, at first I was like, it's a Metro. I wasn't too sure what they were going to be able to carry. And then as soon as I arrived, I was like bombarded with all of these local vegetables, and purveyors were there, and all of these little baskets of zucchini, cucumbers, and beans. I was just really, really excited. So I felt like a kid again in the grocery store, and I kind of went a little wild. We're not going to be showcasing all the food we got today, but we're going to be showcasing the highlights of our grocery trip.
Yes, it was a huge mise en place. I will show you all with the behind the scenes later on, but Chef made it super schnazzy. It's like gonna be super quick and lovely and delicious, and more importantly, it will bring me closer to eating. And I think you opened up a bottle of wine for me.
I did. So today with lunch, we are drinking the Nadia Lusso Cove, and it's Semillon Sauvignon Blanc, and it's really, really nice. So I'm going to pour it for us because cooking and wine can't be better.
Naughty. Did you say that this wine is called Naughty?
This is called Cove.
Oh, Cove. Okay, je m'excuse. It's my... I heard what I want to hear. Hear what I want to hear, Chef.
There you go.
Oh,
cheers.
Cheers.
Now, if you have a bottle of wine with you in front of the screen, feel free to join us if you'd like to. And come on by for this wine. We're serving it tonight.
Gorgeous weather, amazing patio, inside or out, you can't go wrong with Chef Chanthy.
Yes.
Okay, talk me through this.
Oh, it's actually called La Mise. I'm sorry. It's called La Mise.
Oh.
So today we're going to be doing kind of two different dishes. The first dish is a peach and tomato salad with an oven-baked turbot from the Guest Visite. So we're going all local. The peaches are from Ontario, close enough, and the tomatoes are from Quebec. And these herbs and greens that you see here are actually from the garden outside of Parliament. So a little bit of urban foraging in our little garden. And I made a slight dressing out of rice wine vinegar and a little bit of onion and garlic, confit onion and garlic oil. So we'll start off by doing that. The second course will be a roasted whole chicken from a local farm. And roasted potatoes and corn, because it's in season. Everyone loves a little bit of corn. With yellow zucchini, which is my favorite zucchini. They're just like, I love the little miniature patty pans as well, but we couldn't find those today. The regular zucchinis will do.
Looks good to me.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so let's dive into it. First, we're going to be making our tomato salad. So I've chosen some Sun Golds, Red Tigers, and these beautiful ones over here. I'm going to cut them up for you, place it into the bowl.
Okay.
It's very like a no-fuss type dinner or lunch.
Yes, it has turned from quickly, the time has marched on. But I love tomatoes. We talked about this at Metro, that I cannot get enough of tomatoes no matter what time of day. And I love the different colors. So my question to you is, will a yellow tomato taste different than a green one and a red one?
Absolutely. The reason why is because the tomatoes are different species. So they have a different flavor profile to them. Today we're going to be playing with all three, and then you can pick and choose what you like most. These ones are my favorite because I find they are the sweetest. The skin's a bit thicker, and the flesh is just sweeter.
Okay. Okay, so you are not actually from Montreal. Can you tell everybody, where were you born?
So I was born and raised in Windsor, Ontario, believe it or not. And then I moved to Vancouver. I stayed in Vancouver for about 7 years, and I lived in Spain I lived in both San Sebastian and Barcelona for about 1.5 years, and Montreal for 4. So not exactly new, but not exactly, late to the party either.
You're the perfect combination of on time.
Oh, thank you. I have arrived at the time that you asked me to.
You have arrived.
Yes.
And what would you say is your culinary background?
It varies, I've been in the industry professionally for about 16 years. So I've cooked for a lot of different chefs, like from Syrian to Venezuelan to Italian, you name it. Like, I've been through a lot of different mentors, and they kind of made me who I am today. But I would say my biggest mentor would be my grandmother. She taught me almost all of the hard work, and she taught me to love my garden, and have a green thumb in the kitchen was very important. It's more sustainable because you end up using everything. And I think it just came really natural to her for nose to tail dining. Like, if ever we got a whole animal or a vegetable, she would lacto ferment it, or she would stew it, steam it. She would just use everything she had. I mean, being a Cambodian refugee coming into Canada, it's very important to learn how to grow your own produce and to use everything we have, because you never know when you're going to be eating again, and that's just the truth of it.
I love that your upbringing, because we've had so many discussions about this, that there is no wastefulness with your connection with food, that it's all about how to take everything, like you say, nose to tail, because of your grandmother never knowing when she was going to be able to get another meal together for the family. I think that mindset is something so important to have as a chef, because you're going to build an ecosystem around that mindset in your kitchen.
Yes, and it teaches people to eat more, or to diversify their palate as well, because as we all know, a plant from root to flower tastes completely different. For example, using sunchokes, it's the tube of the sunflower plants. You're eating the seeds, right? All the time. You're using the flowers to turn it into sunflower oil, and then you're using the root of it for the winter. Like, everything tastes different, just like tomatoes taste different. So every part of a plant usually tastes different, and that kind of makes things fun, like you can turn it into so many different things.
Beautiful. And you can tell everybody, because I know this beautiful story, what is your connection to Cambodia, and what is on the horizon for you?
Well, my upbringing is Cambodian. I was raised by my grandmother, so when my brothers were learning English in school, I was speaking Khmer and a little bit of French as well. Like, I didn't speak English, let's just say that. So English was my second language growing up, and when I went to elementary school, I was in ESL until about grade 5 or 6, taking a few classes here or there. And that is my connection. It's basically my upbringing, so I was able to have a different perspective growing up as a Canadian-born person in the household of only Cambodian-speaking parents, or grandparents for that matter. And I am looking into diving back into my roots, cooking more Cambodian food, and I'm just, like, these gems just appear in my head of like, oh, I remember when my grandmother did this. I remember when I was getting tipsy because my grandmother was fermenting rice, like these koji ferments, and I remember her chuckling. For what reason? It's because, oh, maybe there was a little bit of THC here or there. Like, she's really funny, and it's so humbling to be in a household where trial and error, you were able to grow up with someone and sort of see that life in food come to reality. And I was fed her story every single day. Every single time she went to go grab something from the garden, I was fed that. I consumed it wholeheartedly, both visually, emotionally, and like with my body, So I love my grandmother for that. And now, because of the Cambodian pop-up toque that we did here at Parliament Pub and Parlor last year, I am writing the very first Cambodian cookbook for Canada, published by Penguin Random House, sorry. So that comes out in 2023. So look for it on the shelves of your local bookstore.
Busy, busy bee. Now tell me about Parliament. What is Parliament? What does the name mean? And what type of food can people expect to enjoy?
Geez Louise, that's a loaded question. So what does Parliament mean? Let's have a cheers to drink.
Well, let's have... Somebody was very thirsty.
Jeez Louise.
It's been a long day in the kitchen. You put me to work.
Yeah. Well, you have to work if you're in the kitchen. With all these staffing shortages, you have to put you to work.
Exactly. I rolled up my sleeves.
If you're eating, you're cooking or cooking.
Got it.
Right. So Parliament to me is different because for me, I think this is the only Parliament that does work. We have a very diverse team. Most Parliaments, they fall apart. So it's like I'm going the total opposite spectrum of what a Parliament means. I find that with here, we have such strong individuals who act as pillars to represent their own sections that almost like a quilt, you know, where we're good at one thing and we come together in this one establishment. So we have Kevin Demers, the proprietor, and the owner and operator of Parliament. He is really good at conceptualizing a space, creating a beautiful cocktail menu, and finding the right individuals, like an Avengers team, to come together and to...
Superpowers.
Yeah, with our superpowers, and we're able to create something spectacular and unique. So over here at Parliament Pub, well, we're no longer a pub, we're a restaurant now. Hey! Slight concept change.
A little pivot.
A little pivot. We'll use the word pivot.
Yes.
So now what we're offering is a more in-depth wine list. The wine list is created by a wonderful, strong woman named Linda Milagros, and she has worked in some of the best restaurants in the world. We worked together at Mugaritz at different times, which was a number 5 restaurant in the world, now at number 7. She's worked everywhere, and I don't want to name drop too much, but she's still going really, really strong. She was the first female to bring sake into Spain. Like, she is so talented and so smart, and she helped us out with our wine menu here. And the interior has changed as well. But yeah, it's Parliament's the new, and Parliament has changed quite a bit. So if you haven't been here, stop by. If you have been here before, stop by.
I can attest to the most magnificent meal ever. I think I ate every single thing on the menu.
You
yes or
did.
no?
You did. You really did.
Everything on the menu. Okay,
Yeah.
let's go.
Oh, so while we were chatting, I chopped up some peaches and tomatoes, and I placed it in this cute little bowl here.
Lovely.
So from the garden, we were able to get some sorrel, marigolds, broccoli flowers, and chocolate basil.
Chocolate basil.
Yes, which
Tell
we
me
will
about
use.
that.
It's super tasty. We have a farm called Hydro Turban that grows it for us. But I took some of the pieces that didn't really grow out, and then I planted them outside. So all of these are hydroponically grown, but then I put it into organic soil so we could later consume it. It can bud, it can grow. And
Hi,
it's been
Dobin
growing.
Andy. Hi, film reporter. I can barely see, but I caught that out of the corner of my eye. Welcome, boys. Okay, sorry, Chef. Sorry.
No worries. Just cutting me off like that.
Sorry,
Okay.
just gotta say hi to the
It's
fans. Okay, what is that?
These are marigolds, which we grow out front as well. Also organic. I mean, it makes it look super duper cute, super nice, and it's the smell itself is just absolutely. It's indulgent, you know. I don't even know the right descriptor to it. It's mesmerizing.
Indulgent is a beautiful word. I'll take that. So how do you stay curious and inspired?
You know what? The people around me, like the ones that I'm mentoring, I'm gonna put some fresh chives.
Should I hold it up?
What's
What
that?
do you think?
I'll do that.
Oh,
Like this.
there.
Can you guys see it there?
Yes. Yes. Perfect.
So how do I stay curious and how do I stay, involved? I guess that's the question.
Passionate.
And passionate. I think I'm a naturally passionate person.
I agree.
I tend to dive into things head first, and if it fails, if it doesn't, like if it's successful, I just do it anyways because you never really know. You never really know. You really do never know. Owning a business is really tough because it's always a 50-50 chance of success. But I stay passionate and I stay motivated because of the people that I have to mentor. I have a responsibility to offer them everything that I know and guide them into the direction that is sort of that they create for themselves. So there's a career journey that that one does for whatever position you are in, either being a chef or being a server or even a sommelier. There's just a career journey, there's a trajectory, and I try to help everyone that works here to meet their goals and meet their expectations.
Well, if I might say, what some of I love so much about you, but the thing that I love the most is that you consider yourself a leader as well as a chef. And being a mom, I always liken the role of a mother to the role of a chef, that you're in charge of your team are your children, and you're only as good as your most unhappy child, and you're only as strong as a chef as your most struggling, let's say, line cook. So the fact that you take it so seriously and make sure that the energy and the culture here in the restaurant is thriving really, really inspires me as a patron to want to come back here time and time again.
We had a few people come by the other day. Well, they stay quite often, but they've never seen staff so happy, which is really funny because everyone's brand new, and usually within the first 3 months, you're like, I either hate it or love it. But over here in the kitchen, we don't swear. We say our please and thank yous, and we respect each other as well. So I think that's just the way that I like to kind of live. I don't want to go to work and feel like I'm working. I want to go to work and feel like this is my lifestyle. And I want to be able to distinguish when work needs to be done, when work needs to get done. Like logistical work, that's when I'm sat in an office, that's when I'm doing that work. But like when I'm around, this is my personality, this is my whole being, and everyone's just part of my world at that time. And that's how I create it. And I'm super happy that this is the structure now. Hold on, there's a police officer there eating ice cream and possibly trying to give me a ticket.
Oh, okay.
I'll be right back.
I will just take over. So, hello, welcome. I am Chef Heidi Small, and I will be cooking for you at Parliament. It's almost, there's a takeover happening, and I feel that after 3 years of interviewing over 100 chefs, I might just have what it takes to cook a dish or two. So, the thing about Old Montreal for all of you is that with restaurants reopening, this is the most beautiful time. It is summer to get yourselves out and to support restaurants and chefs. And your only way to do that is to actually get out there and make a reservation and attend these patios that are all set up outside just for us. There's in-restaurant dining and outside dining. So I really, really tell you all how important it is. During the pandemic, I'm all about ordering takeout. But now, it's all about telling everybody to do their best to get themselves in the restaurants, or at least outside of the restaurants, because this is who Montreal is. Our biggest claim to fame is food. We are a food lover's destination. And if you love your local restaurant, then you need to show that love by making reservations and coming and eating here and not staying home wondering what to do for dinner. Specifically not staying home and hitting those apps that deliver the food to your door. Now it is our duty as citizens to get on out here and enjoy beautiful meals at our restaurants. So that's all I wanted to say. It was just a little sidebar. And the other thing I wanted to say is that Chef Chanthy reached out to me. We had never met before. My favorite thing, of course, is chasing chefs, but almost equal to that is when a chef chases me and they reach out saying, hey Heidi, I love your work, love what you're doing, let's talk. During the pandemic, Chef Chanthy came to me and said, you just seem, I don't know, he's not here to back it up, but he said, you just seem like a lovely, positive soul. Let's do something together. And throughout the pandemic, he and I would meet regularly on Zoom. We had never met in person. He at the time was in BC. I, of course, was in Montreal. And we Zoomed I would say once every 2 weeks until finally, and this is a man that I had never met before, but it was just a beautiful energy exchange. He came, I believe, at the end of lockdown when the city was starting to reopen, and we had our big reunion. I think it was 3 months ago. I came down to Parliament and just loved him up, and it was just cool to see that the screen energy transcended and actually in person was just as delicious and yummy, and we have been lifelong friends ever since. He's the kind of chef that when you meet, he's an old soul. It's as if you knew him from another life, because we had no reason to connect through a screen, which seems so impersonal, but the thing about the pandemic, it allowed for people to recondition and recalibrate their brain and actually make connections with people on screen. And I just feel very lucky that when we met in person, the love was fierce. And, oh, he just happens to be right here.
Hi.
I was telling everybody that we met on Zoom and then fell in love.
Yes. Yeah.
Go, take it away. I talk nonstop.
So, funny story, the police officer wasn't actually giving me a ticket. He was taking a picture of his ice cream and just writing notes to himself. So, no ticket, everyone.
Even
Hooray.
officers do selfies.
Selfies and ice cream.
Okay, what's going on? It smells delicious.
Okay, so we've finished the salad here. We'll take some photos for you. Really simple. This peach and tomato salad with like garden herbs is kind of something you want to make all the time, and you can have it with anything that's a bit lighter, anything that's kind of oil based. You can have it with a pasta, you can have it with canned tuna, you can have canned fish or any sort of oily fish, whether even eel, if you have barbecue eel to sort of like kind of make it smoky and delicious and glazed, that's super nice with it as well. Even if you make your own guanciale, or if you want to go with like serrano ham, it's just a perfect summer salad. And over here I have a 1-to-1 ratio of rice wine vinegar and confit garlic and onion oil, which I always keep in my back pocket. Anytime I have old garlic, anytime that I have onion scraps, I just turn it into an oil and then compost the rest. So I'm just going to throw that on, just like so. And I don't know if you're like me, where I love dill. I love dill. It's used in Cambodian cooking quite often. It's used for anything that's steamed vegetables. I just absolutely love it. It gives me such a good feeling when I have dill. It just tastes like chlorophyll goodness.
I love dill too. I make it in my Jewish chicken soup every single week. I think I put 3 batches of dill inside my soup.
Dill and soup is just awesome. It's just so awesome. It feels hearty.
Yes.
You're gonna salt bay it up. I mean, use my technique, which is like up here. You can use your elbow. You can use this part of your muscle. You can use your hip bone. Whatever you feel is appropriate for your salt baying. And with this, I will be preparing a baked turbot. So here's some turbot from the Gaspésie. That's just baked in a bit of confit garlic oil, lemon, and dill. So now I'm going to dress it with obviously some chives. Got to use up them beautiful cut up chives.
I love Metro's selection of fresh herbs because I don't have a garden, so when I go there, I feel as if I'm in my own garden, in my own little backyard. And who do we have here? We have Chef Guillaume delivering.
Chef Guillaume is delivering some delicious goods from the oven.
Thank you, Chef.
That we had prepared earlier. And you know, I may be covering up some of the fish. I apologize, but we have some fresh green sorrel that adds a bit of acidity to the dish. This is fresh turbot. It's been in the oven with a little bit of oil, any garlic that you have left over, lemons, and it gets baked for about 8 minutes, and it's done. It's done. You let it go, like you let it rest afterwards, and we'll take some photos for you as well, just so you can see the different plating.
And maybe if you're nice, we'll put the recipe up. Maybe.
I will be more than happy to put the recipe up.
Yes? Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you, chef. Because, chefs are all like, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but the woman or the man at home is going, I need to know more.
Well, I am writing a book, so my recipes will be out in the world.
Okay. That's good to hear.
Yes. All right, and over here we have some beautiful zucchini, the ones that I talked about a bit earlier. Dressed in everything that's, on top of the turbot right now, but I love zucchini, especially when it's crispy on the outside and like beautiful and moist on the inside. It's just
gorgeous.
Gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
More chives?
Oh my gosh, the more the merrier. I'm all about more. To me, more is more.
More is more.
More is more with food.
That is true.
No such thing as
More
less.
is more. Alright, so I'm super excited about the potatoes. We found some beautiful potatoes from Metro as well as local corn. What I've done is I've dressed it with like an Asian mix. I can't say Asian mix. It's more of like a lemongrass, chili, and garlic paste that you would normally use for either pho or even on top of ban bo hui. Like there's annatto seed, there is lemongrass and galangal in this oil, along with some Korean chilies and some dried roasted Thai chilies. Whoa. So I've dressed the potatoes in this with the corn, and it just has that like almost a star anise, gooiness, deliciousness, spiciness to it, and like you can smell it. I don't know, you obviously can't smell it from there, but it's,
but I can.
It's such a fun way to roast potatoes too when you use like chili paste.
Oh, I'm already putting my hair back, getting ready to eat. That's how excited I am. I'm like, hair back. Okay, what do we have next?
Okay, so this is really good with like an aioli or like even using crema. So if you go to a Sabor Latino and you find this little couch with a cow on it, crema would be super good with lemongrass potatoes. It's an umami flavor bomb salami, Genoa, calabrese. Chives to finish that off. I know, right? Chives on food. Ridiculous.
Yum.
Ridiculous. And we have some sorrel from the garden, just to top it off, so that we feel less guilty about consuming all of this food and also guilty about ravaging my garden. But
I don't feel any guilt at all. I am going to dive in. Look at this! Lift that baby. Lift that puppy.
So we have a whole roasted chicken,
Ooh.
also in the lemongrass paste with a bit of rosemary. I love a good charred, crispy chicken. So the skin is so crispy, crunchy. Like I'm pretty sure I could run my knife like if you could hear that, it's like pretty crunchy. So yeah, it's crunchy on the outside and super moist on the inside. The reason is because I've turned it on high fan after it's been oiled, and then I drop the temperature down after a little while. It only takes about 35 minutes to have this chicken ready to go. And within those 35 minutes, we have 5 different things to consume. So we have our roasted chicken with lemongrass paste, annatto oil, and garlic and rosemary. Super good. And then we have our peach tomato salad with garden herbs to go along with our meal.
Somebody is asking, where are you guys? I think you have to tell them all over
We
again.
are at Parliament. We're located at 351 Place Duville. It's on Saint-Pierre and Place Duville. Don't mistake us for Gibby's, because that's also Duville. So look for the kind of floral oasis with 2 terraces.
Gorgeous. Okay.
It's gorgeous.
Okay, let's eat.
Okay. So then, yes, the potatoes are a hit. I will put that recipe up online. I'll send it over to Heidi. We'll make a whole night of it. And the turbot as well. So we're going to take a camera and shoot some of these photos.
Mm-hmm.
And the zucchini. You can't go wrong with zucchini. Like, it's... Grow it in your garden. Give it to your friends. Hopefully you have friends after giving them all the zucchini in your garden. But it's absolutely delicious. If you have a chef friend, just give them your zucchinis and eggplants and stuff like that.
Bravo.
And lamis would be really nice with it because it's dry, it's clean, it's delicious. The bottle is gorgeous.
All your bottles are gorgeous.
Come and get it. And yes, it's called Lamis by Nadia Lusso. I don't want her to kill me, so there it is.
Beautiful. Thank you, chef. A little
My
toast.
pleasure. A
before
little
we go.
toast. And Agno is bartending tonight. If you want to try one of his creations, just come on by.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Metro. And thank you, Susie Shear, for my gorgeous, beautiful dress. Yes, everybody, I wore the dress. Over and out. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Yep.